Welcome to DAR 101. My name is Lisa Fox, and I'm a California daughter. I joined DAR almost 14 years ago.
And I'm Georgiana Braden, a Texas daughter. I became a member just 2 short years ago.
We are excited to bring you this overview of our objectives, the founding of the DAR, membership in the DAR, the organizational structure, the President General's project, the DAR headquarters and DAR buildings, DAR committees, how to stay informed, and DAR's top 10, what every daughter should know.
Our National Society was founded October 11th, 1890, and incorporated by an act of Congress in 1896. The NSDAR is a nonprofit, non political volunteer women's service organization dedicated to our objectives of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. Our motto is God, home, and country. We have over 185,000 members and 3,000 chapters worldwide. We have chapters in all 50 states and Washington, D.C., and international chapters in Australia, Austria, Bahamas, Canada, France, Germany, Guam, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and the United Kingdoms. More than 1 million women have joined the DAR since its founding in 1890. The Sons of the American Revolution, SAR, had recently been founded in New York City on April 30th, 1889. Some SAR chapters permitted women, and some did not. At the following year's general meeting on April 30th, 1890, the matter was put to a vote, and the SAR decided to officially exclude women from its membership.
This event sparked controversy and discussion in the national press and caught the attention of Mary Smith Lockwood. Because the contributions of women to the American Revolution were not being recognized, Mrs. Lockwood wrote an editorial that was published in the Washington Post on July 13th, 1890. In it, she demonstrated convincingly that women had contributed much to the revolutionary cause that had previously been overlooked and ignored. She asked, were there no mothers of the Revolution?
On October 11th, 1890, 18 women and 4 men met in Washington, D.C. for the purpose of organizing the Daughters of the American Revolution. The 4 founders of the DAR were anything but traditional. 2 were single and 2 were widowed, and all 4 were working women who supported either children or extended family.
Mary S. Lockwood was an avid historian and writer. Mrs. Lockwood's residence was Washington's elegant and imposing Strathmore Arms, and it was there, on October 11, 1890, the formal organization of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution took place. Mrs. Lockwood was the NSDAR's first historian, and inspired by Mrs. Lockwood's commitment to historic preservation, the National Society resolved on October 18, 1890, to provide a place for the collection of historical relics which will accumulate, and for historical portraits, pictures, etc. This may first be in rooms, and later in the erection of a fireproof building. She was not only the last surviving founder, but is also the only founder buried in Washington, D.C.
Mary Deshay was well educated and for a short time studied at what is now the University of Kentucky. In 1889, she accepted a post in Washington as a clerk in the pension office. Miss Deshay continued in the civil service until her death and also spent her own time after working hours acting as an assistant director of the DAR Hospital Corps during the Spanish American War in 1898. Mary Deshay died on January 29, 1911. Her fellow daughters honored her memory with the first memorial service ever held in Memorial Continental Hall.
Ellen Walworth was about 12 years old when her father, John Hardin, became a United States congressman. Mrs. Walworth earned her law degree at New York University and was entitled to practice before the Court of New York and the District of Columbia. After her husband's death in 1873, she opened her home as a boarding and day school. One of Mrs. Walworth's earliest public efforts was her moving plea to the members of her local community to contribute to the fund to renovate George Washington's home, Mount Vernon, in Alexandria, Virginia. Mrs. Walworth wrote constantly on patriotic and historic subjects. Ellen Walworth died on June 23, 1915, and was laid to rest in the family lot at Greenridge near Saratoga, New York.
Eugenia Washington was born in what is now West Virginia. Her mother died when she was 20 years old, and her disabled father relied on his daughter to care for him. Unlucky circumstances made her an eyewitness to the Battle of Fredericksburg during the Civil War. It is said that Miss Washington's experiences that day inspired in her a will to assist women from both the North and the South in the worthy cause of preserving their shared heritage, and that this was her purpose in helping to found the NSDAR. At the close of the war, Miss Washington and her father moved to Washington, D.C. Known fondly as Miss Eugie, she died at her home in Washington on Thanksgiving Day, 1900.
This group of pioneering women in the nation's capital that formed the DAR has carried the torch of patriotism ever since. Any woman, 18 years or older, regardless of race, religion, or ethnic background, who can prove lineal descent from a patriot of the American Revolution is eligible for membership.
DAR recently reached the historic milestone of admitting more than 1 million members since our founding in 1890. Here is Amy Dickinson, our millionth member.
Many women who are or were DAR members have made significant and positive contributions to American or international culture, society, or history through diligent application of their unique talents and abilities. These members have been novelists, writers, brigadier generals, and admirals, physicians, fashion designers, sculptors, educators, senators, U.S. treasurers, wives of presidents, and attorney general, college presidents, pilots, astronauts, women's rights advocates, Olympians, and so much more.
The National Society is led by the President General and an executive committee of 11 national officers, listed here in protocol order. First, Vice President General, Chaplain General, Recording Secretary General, Corresponding Secretary General, Organizing Secretary General, Treasurer General, Registrar General, Historian General, Librarian General, Curator General, and Reporter General. Elections are held every 3 years. The National Board of Management is a body composed of the executive officers, 21 vice presidents general, and 53 state regents. All are volunteers, except for the approximately 150 individuals that staff our headquarters. Unlike the National Board of Management, during Continental Congress, our honorary presidents general and honorary vice presidents general attend and have a vote.
Much like national, most state organizations have at least a state regent, vice regent, chaplain, recording secretary, corresponding secretary, organizing secretary, treasurer, registrar, historian, and librarian. Most chapters also have similar officers. Now let's look at each office of the National Society in protocol order.
The President General is the official spokesperson of the National Society and is its representative in association with other organizations, business groups, and the general public. She presides at all meetings of the Executive Committee, National Board of Management, and Continental Congress. She appoints all committees which carry out the work of the National Society and is responsible for the general supervision of the work of the National Society and national headquarters. During her 3-year term, and if her schedule permits, the President General makes an official visit to each state and to the units overseas.
In the absence or inability of the President General to serve, the first Vice President General performs the duties of the office of President General. The first Vice President General is the chairman of the Personnel Committee and is responsible for the revision and preparation for printing of the DAR handbook and national bylaws.
The chaplain general opens meetings of the National Society with a reading of scripture and prayer. She conducts religious services as occasion may require and suggests religious projects and activities to the National Society.
The recording secretary general is the custodian of the legal record of the proceedings of the National Society, which include the minutes and rulings of the executive committee meetings and the National Board of Management meetings.
The corresponding secretary general answers general and special correspondence. This office oversees the DAR store, DAR insignia store, and the mailroom.
The Office of the Organizing Secretary General supervises the organization of all chapters. This office works to strengthen existing chapters, discourage disbandments, and assist with mergers.
The Treasurer General receives the funds of the National Society and disperses them upon authorization of the Continental Congress, the National Board of Management, or the Executive Committee.
The Office of the Registrar General is responsible for the examination of all applications for membership and presents those verified to the National Board of Management.
The Historian General encourages interest in American history, honors United States citizens who have contributed in a significant way to the study and promotion of American history, informs the public about noteworthy historic sites, and she maintains collections of historical or history oriented imprints and manuscript documents.
The Librarian General is responsible for the operations of the DAR Library, the Genealogical Records Committee, and issuing record copies. The Librarian General and her staff work with state and chapter librarians to gather genealogical and historical books, microforms, and manuscripts to enhance the library's collections.
The Curator General is responsible for the museum collection that began in the early 1890s. She is the executive officer in charge of the museum galleries and the 31 period rooms sponsored by the states. She must approve the addition of objects and alterations to any of the period rooms.
And finally, the Office of the Reporter General provides a central location for information, support, and Continental Congress certificates for all national committees.
Information about the current administration can be found on the members' website by visiting members.dar.org. There you will find a description of the current administration's theme, symbol, mission, and goals.
The President General's project is a proposed project recommended by the President General and approved by the National Board of Management and by the members. Past President General projects include DAR buildings, repairs and restoration, promoting membership, advancing NSDAR's technological capabilities, and funding community grants for historic preservation, education, and patriotism. If you'd like to learn more about our previous Presidents General and their projects, visit the publications section on the members' website to download the Wide Blue Sash, document number WBS 1000, to learn about some of our past Presidents General and their accomplishments.
Our DAR buildings are located 2 blocks from the White House across from the ellipse. We have 3 adjoining structures: Memorial Continental Hall, DAR Constitution Hall, and the Administration Building. Memorial Continental Hall and Constitution Hall are registered historic landmarks.
Memorial Continental Hall was built in 1905 and is in the oldest section of the DAR buildings. The historic auditorium in Memorial Continental Hall, where the NSDAR held its early Continental Congresses, now serves as our DAR library. The hall was designated as a registered National Historic Landmark in 1973. The public can rent this space, as well as the DAR library and other rooms and areas within DAR, for receptions, weddings, or other events.
The DAR Library, established in 1896, has grown into one of the nation's premier genealogical research centers. It is housed in the former auditorium of Memorial Continental Hall and contains more than 200,000 volumes and approximately 25,000 files of genealogical information. Family histories and genealogies comprise about one quarter of the book collection, with the remainder being state and local histories and record abstracts.
The DAR library houses many special collections and is open to the public. Examples of special collections are the American Indian Collection, the American Women's History Collection, the National Huguenot Society Collection, and the Genealogical Records Committee Collection that has approximately 5,000 typescript volumes of unpublished compilations of Bible, cemetery, family, vital, county, town, church, and military records since the late 1910s. Because the work of the Genealogical Records Committee is ongoing, users of the library should expect to find new material throughout the year.
Open to the public, the Americana collection focuses on colonial America, the Revolutionary War era, and the early Republic, and includes manuscript items such as letters, ledgers, diaries, land deeds and grants, tax records, and much more. In 2002, NSDAR acquired the last signature to complete the full collection of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Button Gwinnett was one of the last two signatures needed. His signature had been difficult to acquire because it is one of the rarest and most valuable of the signers of the Declaration of Independence.
Part of the administration building houses the DAR Museum. The museum comprises 31 period rooms and 2 galleries. Our collection consists of over 30,000 decorative and fine arts objects spanning the 18th and 19th centuries, including furniture, glass, ceramics, textiles, and silver. The walk in tours and exhibitions are free to the public. The exhibitions have included Wedgwood, quilts and clothing, and childhood artifacts from 1700 to 1900. The museum shop is open during regular hours and also always open online, and carries reproductions of objects inspired by those in the DAR Museum collection and other specialty items.
An extensive renovation of the museum gallery was completed in June of 2018. The new space features a glass entryway, herringbone hardwood floors, and an open, airy atmosphere that is a welcome escape from the bustling city outside. The space now houses not one, but two galleries: a main gallery with an annually rotating exhibit, and a study gallery with up close access to over 600 objects in the collection.
The National Society's third building, Constitution Hall, was built in 1929 and is located on 18th Street. The NSDAR built Constitution Hall for its annual Continental Congress. Constitution Hall is Washington, D.C.'s largest concert hall with a capacity of just over 3,700 and is used for many types of events. 600,000 people pass through its doors each year. Constitution Hall was placed on the Register of National Historic Landmarks in 1986.
Each year, hundreds of talented performers grace the stage of DAR Constitution Hall, performing classical, hip hop, soul, pop, and rock acts. Musicians from B.B. King to Sting have performed at our hall. DAR Constitution Hall has hosted many award shows and ceremonies, including the Country Music Association Awards, the NAACP Awards, the Horatio Alger Awards, and special editions of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
The National Society accomplishes the majority of its work under a committee system. The President General appoints a national chair for each of the NSDAR committees and appoints an executive officer as a liaison to each committee. The national chair then directs and supervises the activities of her committee, the national vice chairs, the division vice chairs, and state and chapter chairs for the 3 years of administration. Committees are organized under 4 types: service, genealogy, administrative, and special. National committees are constituted to perform a continuing function and remain in existence permanently or for the life of the assembly that established them.
Our national committees can be categorized under our 3 objectives: historical preservation, patriotism, and education. Within historic preservation, Many chapters and states own historic homes and other Revolutionary era sites, which mark important historic locations and inform the public. DAR members contribute their time and money to restore hundreds of historic locations. In 2008, the Historic Preservation Committee was established to assist members of the National Society in the area of historic preservation, to encourage recognition of significant volunteer efforts in historic preservation at the community, state, and national levels, and to catalog NSDAR owned properties.
And here are a few other committees that fall within the historic preservation category. American History, which promotes American history in schools. The Commemorative Events Committee, which has recognized memorials and dedications such as the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. DAR contributed more than $500,000 toward the construction of the new memorial on the mall. The Women in Military Service Memorial in Arlington, Virginia, was conceived by a DAR member and honors all women who have served in the military. This memorial was funded in part by contributions from DAR.
Some committees that fall under education are the Conservation Committee, which is dedicated to protecting and promoting the responsible use of our natural resources. DAR's Scholarship Committee provides scholarships in American history, political science, preservation, medicine, nursing, and occupational and physical therapy. Since 1903, the DAR School Committee focuses on the education of disadvantaged young people. DAR works with 5 schools with special needs. The JAC, Junior American Citizens Committee, promotes good citizenship through its teaching of U.S. history and the principles of government to students pre-K through 12. DAR promotes our Constitution during the week of September 17th through 23rd, informing and educating the public. The Constitution Week Committee provides materials to help educate the community about the historical events surrounding the creation of the Constitution.
Within patriotism, our committees include Children of the American Revolution, often referred to as CAR, provides leadership guidance and support to CAR members as they grow into responsible citizens. DAR Good Citizens recognizes and awards high school seniors who possess good citizenship, dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. The flag of the United States of America. Activities of this committee include providing thousands of American flags to schools, military establishments, and civic organizations. Since 1919, DAR's Americanism Committee promotes knowledge, loyalty, and love of country in the hearts of American citizens, whether naturalized or citizens by birth. 2 prestigious awards are given to American citizens for outstanding contributions to the nation. The DAR Medal of Honor is awarded to native-born American citizens, and the Americanism Medal is awarded to naturalized citizens.
The National Defense Committee was established in 1926 to promote an enlightened public opinion. DAR has advocated a strong American military defense. The DAR Project Patriot Committee became the official DAR effort in support of America's worldwide war against terrorism. At the national level, DAR support is focused on 2 groups: women serving in the military and wounded military personnel at 3 locations: the Chaplain's Closet at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Landstuhl, Germany, the Warrior Transition Brigade at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, and the Warrior and Family Support Center in San Antonio, Texas. We also address needs at Camp Atterbury, Indiana, a mobilization training center. In addition, we provide support to deploying and returning service members and their family. Additionally, DAR awards ROTC medals to student cadets of outstanding ability and achievement in high school and college ROTC programs.
Under the DAR Service for Veterans Committee, DAR members volunteer their time to veterans in both VA hospitals and non VA facilities. DAR is one of the largest groups to serve on the Department of Veterans Affairs Voluntary Service Program, known as VAVS, and is a funding partner of the Veterans History Project of the Library of Congress. DAR presents several awards to individuals working with veterans. We are also a Wreaths Across America corporate sponsor, specifically supporting the Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit as it travels across the country to various pop up events, fairs, and schools.
These are only a few of the activities generated by the volunteer efforts of members serving on the committees at the national, state, and chapter levels. For more than a century, the members of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution have dedicated themselves to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's future through better education for children. Currently, DAR has approximately 50 committees. To learn more about a particular committee, visit the members' website at members.dar.org and select from the menu.
DAR updates are available to members through a variety of communication means. The American Spirit is our bi monthly DAR magazine and an award winning publication that features well written and beautifully illustrated stories of interest to everyone who enjoys history, genealogy, patriotism, and education. Member subscriptions include copies of the companion Daughters newsletter, which is designed to keep every member up to date on the progress and achievements of the National Society.
The members' website at members.dar.org provides links to committee web pages, forms, chapter information, and much, much more. You'll need your national number, located on your certificate, to access this part of the website. It's a good idea to commit your national number to memory. You'll use it often in your DAR activities. The DAR Handbook is a resource that every member can use to accomplish the objectives of each of our committees. Guidance, policies, and history of the National Society, along with important membership information, is printed in the handbook and is available for downloading at the members' website. Webinars are free to all members and conducted online. Topics include membership, genealogy, leadership skills, and so much more. Archived webinars are available on the DAR Leadership Training Committee webpage in the webinar library.
The President General's blog at blog.dar.org is written by the President General frequently to provide daughters with unique and interesting stories about her travels to other state organizations. The President General's message is the official monthly message from the President General about updated news from the National Society. The message is available for viewing on the members' website and in the American Spirit magazine and its accompanying Daughters newsletter. Excerpts from the President General's blogs may be used to supplement the reading of the President General's message at each meeting. Be sure to subscribe to the blog and receive notifications of new posts by email.
Members, when possible, should attend their state's annual conference. State conference is hosted by the state organizations, where the annual business of the state is conducted and reported. Exciting sessions occur with a variety of interesting business sessions, informative workshops, fantastic speakers, and a celebration of award winners. Continental Congress is the annual meeting of our National Society, held sometime late June to early July. Continental Congress attracts approximately 3,000 members to our headquarters in Washington, D.C. each year for a week filled with business sessions, workshops, meetings, reports, awards, and speakers. Monday and Tuesday are for pre Congress workshops, luncheons, teas, and meetings. Wednesday is opening night. From Wednesday to Sunday, you can participate in business meetings both during the day and evening with reports, national awards, speakers, club meetings, networking, and many delicious meals. Sunday concludes with a lovely memorial service for the daughters who passed the previous year. as well as installation of the new national officers.
The official insignia was adopted and patented in 1891. The golden wheel of the insignia represents a spinning wheel. The platinum or white gold distaff represents flax. The blue rim and the distaff carry the colors of the National Society. The stars represent the original 13 colonies. The insignia is the property of the National Society and may not be used for commercial purposes or as an ornament. Chapters may use it for official DAR business, such as on yearbooks, stationery, and in programs. The insignia should appear in either the top center or upper left-hand corner with no words written or printed above it. The insignia should never be used on anything that is disposable nor edible. Use instead the DAR logo. The DAR official logo is trademarked and is used in association with any public-facing DAR activities.
Members may wear the DAR insignia and other official pins to DAR functions. The pins are worn on the left side over your heart with no other jewelry or name tags. The only exception is the flag pin that may also be worn on the left side. In the past, the official jewelers of NSDAR have been J.E. Caldwell and Hamilton Jewelers. NSDAR is now the official provider of our insignia and pens. Starting Continental Congress 2020, those items became available from the DAR insignia store. Example of approved pens include the Chapter Bar and the Ancestor Bar. Members interested in purchasing pens can look over qualifications and preview the pens online at the DAR insignia store and at the various DAR committee pages found on the members' website. To learn more about pen placement, check out the Insignia Committee's page on the members' website. Sashes of varying widths are worn by current and past national officers and state regents. For current officers, the outer edges of the sash are white with blue in the center. When the colors are inverted, blue on the outside, white on the inside, this designates a past officer. The narrowest sashes are for state regents, and the widest sash is reserved for the President General. If you'd like to learn more about sashes, visit the Insignia Committee page on sashes found at members.dar.org.
The following membership terminology may come in handy as you review the handbook, your chapter yearbooks, and the members' website. The National Society does not allow membership to be established or recognized posthumously. The title honorary is used only in reference to officers who have been conferred this title by election because of their distinguished service. Associate members are members in good standing with their chapter who may be granted associate membership in another chapter. Units overseas chapters may also have associate members. A current member of the Children of the American Revolution, aged 18 until her 22nd birthday, may join the DAR with a certificate of good standing. The CAR member must still submit a completed DAR application and meet all the genealogical standards set by DAR. Their certificate of good standing waives the DAR application fee. She may hold dual membership up until her 22nd birthday when she ages out of CAR. CAR memberships do not transfer into DAR. CAR members must follow the same approval process as all other prospective members.
Junior members are chapter members aged 18 until their 36th birthday. Junior members enjoy the full privileges and rights of membership and are eligible for any chapter, state, or national office. The application and non-deductible contribution for life membership may be made at any age. However, the benefits of life membership do not begin until the member reaches age 65. Life member pending is the classification of a member under the age of 65 who has completed the life member application process. Once she reaches age 65, she will become a life member.
Okay, you might want to take notes on this next part because here are those 10 things every daughter should know. Number one, you belong to the National Society first, then to your chapter and state. For that reason, policy for the National Society is made by the National Board of Management. Whatever the chapter does must fall within the national bylaws. Oh, and always pronounce each letter DAR. Don't take a shortcut and call it DAR. Number two, we are a service organization and our work is primarily in the areas of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. In order to protect the nonprofit status of the National Society, the DAR takes great care to avoid any impression of a lobbying organization and is completely non-political. It is also against the national bylaws to affiliate with other organizations or to lend our name to another organization's efforts. Having said that, we are encouraged to cooperate with other organizations in efforts that resemble our goals. For instance, as much as we enjoy participating with the local museums and history centers in various activities, we would not want to enter into a contract with them to help staff their gift shops. It's fine for individuals to undertake that commitment or the chapter to cooperate with them to encourage our members to volunteer, but we don't want anything legally binding.
Each chapter officer should study parliamentary procedure, read Robert's Rules of Order. Each chapter officer should understand the duties of her particular office as outlined in the chapter bylaws. Order or download and then read the DAR handbook. Peruse the DAR.org and members.dar.org websites. You will find most answers to your questions there. Start with the public website, dar.org, and click on the About DAR section under National Society. Here, you will find some great videos and information on our National Society's founding and mission. The members website, members.dar.org, is a great place to dig in and learn about the various committees, activities, and how you can get involved in the work of our society.
Make sure you know your DAR chapter regent and registrar and their contact information. Know who your state regent and state board are. Learn the DAR elevator pitch. This is your short summary used to quickly and simply define DAR and its benefits. The name elevator pitch reflects the idea that it should be possible to deliver the summary in the time span of an elevator ride, or approximately 30 seconds. Know significant dates about chapter meetings, state meetings, and national meetings. And be sure to attend your chapter meetings, state conferences, and Continental Congress, and get to know the organization and its members.
As you have seen, there is an abundance of information about the DAR, and we hope that we've given you the basics in this webinar. Building your DAR knowledge base will help you get the most out of your DAR membership.